Okay, welcome back to part 3. So hopefully you learned a little more about the skeleton, and we're going to be talking more about that in the coming up days. But let's talk about the skeleton helper. So in the video, we learned that without muscles and different parts of the body, the skeleton would not be able to move. Okay, the skeleton is just the structure, the bones. And so what allows the skeleton to move? And part of that are called joints and ligaments. So the picture I have here is where the two bones, the knees come together. And you see these, okay, they look like cords. Okay, those are called ligaments. And ligaments are cords that go in and around the bones through, because where the bones go together, they are very tough fibers or cords that hold the bones together. Well, then you see this white, okay, the white, and then the area in between the bones, that's cartilage, but the area in between the bones, that's called the joints. So any place where you can move, that is a joint. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to stand up. Okay, and you can't see all of me, and that's okay. But I want everyone to move your elbows. Okay, you see how that can, okay, what else can move? Your fingers, okay, your neck can move. Let's see, your legs can move. Move your toes, your foot. I'm doing it, but you can't see. Your knee, you can see. Your hips can move. So any place that can move, that is where a joint is. It's where your bones come together. So the Lord designed that so that you would be able to move around. If we didn't have joints, we would literally be like this and wouldn't be able to move. So joints and ligaments, and if we just had bone, if we just had a joint where the bone connects, we didn't have the ligaments to hold the bones together, then we would just be falling. Our bones would shift out of socket all the time. It would be a mess. Okay, so ligaments and joints work together. So the ligaments are these cords that support the bone, that connect the bone together, but they're flexible so that you can move. And then the joint is just the area in the space where the bones connect, where you can move. Well, there are different types of joints. There are several different types of joints. We're going to talk about three main joints, three main types of movable joints. Now, I am moving on to page 4 if you still have your book. Okay, the first one is hinge joints. Okay, hinge joints. If you see in the picture, a hinge joint, okay, will swing back and forth. So hinge joints will look like your elbow, okay? Back and forth, okay? Do your knees the same way, back and forth. Also, your finger, okay, will go back and forth. Here is, let's see. Oh, it doesn't show. I was going to try to show you another hinge joint, but it wasn't recording that. But that's okay. Okay, so a hinge joint goes back and forth, kind of like a door. A hinge on the door would do. And then the next one, okay, a ball and socket joint. Okay, so a ball and socket joints are like your hips and your shoulders. So this, okay, is like a ball and it fits inside your socket and it allows, okay, to move all around. So your shoulders, do your shoulders like this, okay? That's a ball and socket joint so that you can move every way around your hips, okay? If you want to stand up, your hips is a ball and socket joints, okay? It allows you to move. You see how this can kind of swivel into that socket. Have you ever been like, oh, and you have really messed up your shoulder and like, oh, I have to pop it back in the socket? It's because this part has actually gotten out of this part and you have to pop it back in. Okay, so the last one is our pivot joints, okay? A pivot joint lets you move your head from side to side, okay? So if you want to do this, okay, that is what a pivot does. So if you look at this right here, okay, so here is the bone, and you see how it's like a little bit like this, where it has a little bit of semicircle. So that allows a little bit of movement and flexibility with that. And so you can use, now a lot of bones will have like a pivot and a hinge. So you can move one like back and forth, okay, then it has a hinge, but if you do it side and side too, it will have a pivot one, but you're using different joints when you do that. So if you think about your elbow, okay, your elbow, this is the hinge joint, go back and forth, but you can also move your elbow like this, okay, that is a pivot joint. So that is, so if you hold your arm out straight, hold your arm out, okay, and then with your palm face down like this. Now turn the palm like that. You just use your pivot joint. So this is your hinge, but if you do like this, boop, you're pivoting and you're turning it, but you're using that. Okay, kind of like the pivot joint lets you turn the doorknob. Okay, so if you turn a doorknob, if you're opening a jar, okay, if you're doing a screwdriver, those are pivot joints that are helping you with that. Okay, so I know this is a lot of different materials that you're having to watch, like 4 different ones. But we're going to do kind of like we did the other day. We're going to do a short web search like we did with the minerals and the gems, where you use one web page to find the answers. Now the assignment is going to be on your portfolio. So go to the portfolio and it will have the questions, and you will answer the questions through text, through the messaging system on your portfolio that I will allow you to do. And but you're going to use this website. So the next video is we're going to go through the website, so it will not be unfamiliar with you for the work that you're going to do and having to turn in. Okay. Also, don't forget to, if I get the poll up, don't forget to comment on whether you like my glasses or not, which you really couldn't see my eyes a lot because of it. Okay, so there's going to be a part 4, and that will explain the web search. If I can stop this video. There you go.